Hi everyone, I'm Don from UploadVR, and sequels can be tricky, and they often leave us teetering between anticipation and skepticism, and Swarm 2, the follow-up to Green Sky Games' popular 2021 release of Swarm, is no exception. Now, I guess the big question here is, does Swarm 2 bring a fresh sense of excitement to the table, or does it just rehash old mechanics from the first game? Well, let's swing in and find out. One of the ways I've seen the Swarm series described over the years has been that it feels like Spider-Man with guns. And, I can now see where people might make this connection, because I have to admit that yes, the feeling of swinging across these structures while extremely high in the air was exhilarating, and mastering these grapple maneuvers while dealing with fast-moving targets has the ability to test the mettle of both new and seasoned players. The brilliance that made the original Swarm game a hit carries over seamlessly into this sequel. The heart-pounding gameplay remains reminiscent of its predecessor, and I have to say, playing on a MetaQuest 3 allows players to turn freely and really get into the action without the fear of tripping over a cord. Now, as for the movement scheme and comfort factors in the game, Swarm 2 unleashes a whole new level of freedom by granting the ability to grip onto virtually anything within your reach. And by using the dash move, players can execute mid-swoop direction changes, seemingly negating the laws of physics. So coupling all of this with a jet boost that propels you skyward, priming you for absolutely stellar kill runs, this just all makes you feel like a badass. Now, you would think that swinging around at breakneck speeds and jumping high into the air might be somewhat uncomfortable, but I have to say, I don't know what kind of magic Green Sky Games has done here, but I felt no sense of motion sickness at all while playing this, and since I'm rarely affected by this anyway, I even asked a couple of friends and family members to test the game, and surprisingly, one of them who always gets sick said he was able to play for almost an hour and actually felt no discomfort. So right about now, you're probably thinking, wow, all of this sounds great, but it also sounds pretty much just like the first game. So what truly sets Swarm 2 apart from its predecessor? Well, it's the roguelike elements. At its core, Swarm 2 is a game that is meticulously designed to ramp up your survivability as your skills grow, delivering lots of entertainment and replayability due to the introduction of a new roguelike element of the game that each time you play, it takes the form of a run, and your success is measured by how far you can make it up the chain and how many hard-earned shards you've accumulated along the way. These shards essentially unlock permanent upgrades, which allow players to expand stats like their base health and shield. Another element is unlocking new in-game abilities, like the powerful jet boost mentioned earlier. On the graphics and sound front, Swarm 2 delivers a performance that aligns well with its predecessor. Some players might have hoped for or expected more dramatic enhancements in these areas, but it seems as if the developers have focused more on fine-tuning the gameplay mechanics and adding a bit more depth versus just giving it a fresh coat of paint. Nevertheless, the visual and audio elements of Swarm 2 served to create an engaging VR environment and looked and sounded great on the Quest 3 that was used for testing. So overall, I guess the old sayings, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and more of the same is a good thing, could be applied here. While Swarm 2 isn't a remarkably different game from its first iteration, there's still enough here that's new and improved to set it apart. Now, whether experienced players regard these improvements as significant or minimal will likely vary, but for newcomers to the Swarm series, however, it's safe to say they're in for an interesting ride.
Grapple to the portal now.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out UploadVR.com for more great VR news and reviews, and as always, please consider becoming a member to support our work directly.